and he's going to answer some questions. Number 1, what animal would you compare yourself with?
A hippopotamus.
And can I ask that why?
Because a hippopotamus is a very graceful swimmer underwater. He's probably the animal that is least picked in terms of favourite animals.
Right. Okay, number 2. What's the most embarrassing moment you've had while teaching at Tauranga?
One time I was on camp in Taupo, and 3 classes in a room, and I was just going to sit down on a table at the front. There was this long table. I was going to perch on the edge of it to talk to everyone, and as I perched on the edge, I blew off. and it reverberated along the table.
Right. Okay, what was your favourite memory of Tauranga Intermediate?
Favourite memory? Gosh, there's probably been so many favourite memories that I'd have trouble picking one.
And the last one, do you have any advice to the students of Tauranga Intermediate?
Yep. Go for it. Whatever you want in your life, you've got to go for it.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you. So I'm doing an interview with Mr. Cookson. I'm going to ask him 4 questions.
Oh, can you grab my sculpture?
Oh my god.
Yeah, keep going.
What's the funniest joke you've ever heard?
It's not really a joke, but it was something that happened in my class. Like, we were having little impromptu speeches in the class, and I asked, hey you guys, oh hang on.
You need
Yeah. Can I forget? Thank you. To promote myself. and I asked, hey, room 2, what's some ideas for some impromptu speeches? And they're coming up with these ideas. And then this one boy in my class, he said, balls, like meaning the cow. The cow's balls, but he's kind of said it a little bit funny and it sounded something different, and the whole class we were like just cracking up for like 5 minutes. Hey.
Hey, how many years have you been teaching?
This is my 6th year teaching here at Tauranga Intermediate, so 6 years.
That's a lot. What's your most embarrassing moment teaching at Tauranga?
I came to school and I had like my shirt inside out and I didn't even notice it for like half a day, and then till someone pointed it out, and that was embarrassing.
Okay, and what's your favourite memory of Tauranga Intermediate?
My favourite memory? Oh, I've got a few. I used to, I really love teaching in the art room. And
Thank you, Mr. Cookson.
right.
Okay, so we have Miss Zimmerman here. We're doing an interview on her. We've got 4 questions. So, number 1, what animal would you compare yourself to?
I compare myself to a seahorse.
Why?
Well, seahorses are pretty peaceful, happy-go-lucky little animals, and they're kind of small, short, but if you really upset them, they can get pretty vicious. Actually, someone else once compared me to a seahorse. That's what they said I was, a seahorse.
How many years have you been teaching here?
Almost one. In 2 days it'll be 1 year.
What's the most embarrassing moment you've had while teaching at Tauranga?
Once I was in a really big hurry and I went to go run out to my car and I wasn't thinking. And in Canada, our steering wheels are on the other side of the car, and I wasn't thinking, so I ran into the passenger side of the car and opened the car door and sat down and shut the door. And then it took me a few moments to realize that I was in the wrong side of the car.
Okay,
and someone saw me.
Do you have any advice to the students at Tauranga Intermediate?
Yes. Don't scratch your mosquito bites, it makes them worse. Always wear bug spray, sunscreen, and don't forget your hat. That's
Thank
it.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, so we have Miss Anderson here, and we're going to ask her a few questions. So first one, what is the funniest joke you've ever heard?
Okay, I'm not very good at remembering jokes, but it's this one. What is this? Do you know what that is?
No.
It's a seagull going to work carrying his lunchbox. That's the only one I know. Sorry, I'm not very good at jokes.
Okay, how many years have you been teaching here?
6 years at this school.
What's the most embarrassing moment you have had while teaching at Taradale?
Okay, it was in my first year that I was teaching here, and I had my keys and I was locking my keys in the car, and I dropped my keys and they went through a grate in the ground, and that grate in the ground just out there in the teacher's car park goes a very long way down, like almost up to here. And one poor dad, I think it was, actually got down amongst the murky water, and it really smelt to fish my keys out, and I felt really embarrassed.
And what was your favourite memory of Taradale Intermediate?
Oh, I've got lots of favourite memories, but I like school shows, so I was really proud to see the Susical team that put on the show last year, and because I did the choreography, almost brought a tear to my eye, so I suppose that's my favourite moment.
Okay, thank you. So we have Miss Brooks here, and we are doing 4 questions on her. Number 1, what is the funniest joke you've ever heard?
Okay, probably not the funniest, but a funny joke. There was a blonde and a brunette and a redhead driving in a convertible down the road. The convertible drove off the road, ran off the road and fell into the water. 10 seconds later, the brunette comes up out of the water, climbs up onto the bank and gets out of the water. She's safe. 20 seconds later, the redhead comes up out of the water, climbs up onto the bank, back onto the road. She's safe. 5 minutes later, the blonde finally gets out of the water, and the other two say to her, "What took you so long? Why were you down there?" And she said, "I couldn't get the door open."
I get it this time. How many years have you been teaching here?
Only 1 year. Started at the beginning of this year and finishing at the end of this year.
What's the most embarrassing moment you have had while teaching at Taradale?
Embarrassing moment, Optimus Yachting. Everyone was very organised and we'd done all our safety checks on our yachts, and I was sending people off on the yachts, and then Kristen and Hannah said to me, "Miss Brooks, we haven't got our life jackets on." And so I had to quickly blow the whistle, get everyone back in, and that was probably my most embarrassing moment.
That is actually quite embarrassing. What's your favourite memory of Taradale Intermediate?
Probably term 2, I think, final assembly at the end of the term, and Takitimu stood up and did their haka, and that was pretty special. I really enjoyed that.
Well, thank you for answering these questions.